I am getting ready to leave pretty soon to go back to the airport and fly home. So I figure I'll just share some final thoughts about Amsterdam. You know, the funny thing is, in this whole trip, I went through Canada, Switzerland, Amsterdam. The only place that even looked at my passport so far and stamped my passport was Switzerland. The one place where I spent absolutely no time. Canada never looked at my passport. I mean, when I crossed the border, they didn't stamp anything. Amsterdam, shit, I walked right through customs. They didn't even look at me. No metal detector. They didn't even look at me. And I had to walk through the entirety, of the airport. I didn't even have to go through customs. I could have walked out of the airport several places in Amsterdam. I only walked through customs because I thought I was supposed to, and then they didn't even look at me. So I doubt they'll look at my passport on the way out unless they look at it when I check in. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take when I check in. Downstairs offers a free all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet. And the reason why it's so tempting is because bacon. I mean, all-you-can-eat bacon? Duh. But the problem is it's the weekend and the all-you-can-eat breakfast starts at 8 o'clock, and I have to catch my plane at 12:15. So I don't think I have enough time to go to breakfast and still catch my plane, because I still got to get to the airport. That's 20 miles from here. And that was the whole reason I wanted to stay here, was free breakfast, or the free breakfast. But okay, Sarah. As far as I'll address the first thing. Everybody keeps telling me, you gotta go to the red light district. You gotta go to the red light district. And I said, I'm not interested in fucking around with any hookers. I'm not interested in going to sex shows. But I did want to go to the red light district because it is so famous that everybody keeps telling me to go there. I wanted to get pictures of the red light district. And I'll be honest, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be seedy and creepy and, shady characters all over the place. No. Honestly, it takes you a minute to even realize you're in the red light district. It pretty much looks like the rest of the place. You don't realize you're in the red light district till you look over to your right and realize that there is a beautiful girl dancing in the window or standing in the window waving at you, and you notice the red light around the window. Or you look over across the canal from you and you see the guy standing out front trying to entice people to come into their sex show. But it's just as crowded in the red light district with pedestrian traffic as it is anywhere else in Amsterdam. And they all, they're all normal people, just like you and me. But again, it's part of the ambiance of Amsterdam. The other thing is that you hear a lot about is the cannabis culture of Amsterdam. And the cannabis culture of Amsterdam isn't what Americans think it is. Marijuana is not just flat out legal here. technically, marijuana is more legal in Colorado than it is here in Amsterdam. Technically. But there are weird rules as far as their cannabis goes, which again, I'm not into. I'm not here to get high and, miss my plane and get stranded here in Amsterdam, have to, waste a $1,500 ticket and have to buy a $2,000 ticket to go home. I do wish I had another day, though. If it didn't cost $2,000 to change my ticket, I wish I could have. But anyway, from what I understand, it is legal to possess a small amount of cannabis. It is legal to use cannabis in coffee shops or bars or other various places. It is not legal to buy it, it is not legal to sell it, and it is not legal to use just standing on the street. That being said, people do use it on the street. I mean, I went walking for a few hours yesterday, and several times I encountered either I walk in to get coffee somewhere, not in a coffee shop where they smoke it, but a restaurant. I might walk into a restaurant and I smell marijuana because somebody in there had recently smoked it. Or I'd be walking down the street and I walk into a cloud of it because somebody there is smoking it. There are police patrolling. And in the back alleys, they're patrolling on bicycles. There's police everywhere. But they don't care. It's not legal to smoke it on the street, but they don't do anything about it. So people smoke it on the street. Plus, find the guy who created the smoke outside. So, they don't care as long as you're, not causing any problems. And so far, there are 1 million people here, tourists, at any time. This place was packed, crowded, full. And I never saw anybody, no problems, no crime, no fights, none of that. Not like you'd see at home. The other thing I'm unclear on is there are a lot of places that sell edibles. I don't know how that works. It must be legal somehow, or else they wouldn't have a store full of edibles. Again, I'm not here to sample any of that. There were plenty of edibles that won't get me high. For example, you saw the chocolate-covered waffle. I should have took a picture of the place I got it. You'd want to try everything. I mean, this place is loaded with restaurants. I've never seen so many restaurants in such a small area. And everybody had food that I've never seen before. I wish I was here for a month. I could try it all. The steak I had yesterday wasn't the best steak I've ever had because the gravy, I wouldn't say it tasted bad, and it didn't taste good. It just tasted different. I wouldn't say it's my cup of tea, but it was good. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But there were so many things, so much food here that I'd love to try it all. It's a really neat place. The history, the architecture. Oh, here's something. Most of the center of town here is all what you would think is alleyways. But no, they're actually streets that people drive down through. Or you can, but all their cars are so small. The streets, I mean, you have the main roads, with left and right traffic. But then you have the heart of the city central. That's what they call it, city central. Right here where I am. And it's a lot of 6 foot wide streets with maybe 2 foot wide walkways on either side. Now you can walk in the street, but you probably will get your ass run over because the bicycles up the ass, and they fly on those bicycles, and those bicycles have the right of way, and they will run you over. And then you have the motor scooters that go even faster through heavy foot traffic, and they don't give a fuck if you get in their way. The taxi cabs squeeze down the alleys with thousands of people walking through them. And all the alleys are red brick paving bricks. And all the buildings are at least 200 years old. At least. It is a really neat city. Those are just some of my thoughts for now. I'll have more in a little while. Oh, here's another thought. The coffee situation here. It's killing me. We're used to going to McDonald's or going to Tim Hortons and getting a large coffee, a big ass cup of coffee. There's no such thing here. Don't get me wrong, there is coffee. But a big cup of coffee, there's no such thing. Everything here is espresso or a slightly larger cup of coffee. But you cannot. I even went to McDonald's 4 o'clock this morning. I walked over to McDonald's thinking, okay, if anybody has a large cup of coffee, it's going to be McDonald's, right? I asked for a large cup of coffee. They gave me a cup of coffee. Now, you've been to McDonald's, you know what the smallest cup looks like. I got that cup half full. I just want a cup of coffee. I can't wait to get home for a big cup of coffee. I drink a pot of coffee a day. I drink it because I'm thirsty. I just want my coffee. I'll give you an example. Last night I went down to the bar downstairs and asked them if they knew where I could get a cup of coffee, and he said, oh yeah, we got coffee. I said, okay, do you have like a plastic cup, a to-go cup or anything? He said, no, you can take the cup with you upstairs. Okay. This half full was the largest cup of coffee I've had since I've been here. €3. Or I'm sorry, it was €2.60. So in American or Canadian, that would be approximately $3 for that cup, half full. Another thing was in Switzerland. One of my goals in Switzerland was to eat Swiss chocolate in Switzerland. But because of the fiasco I had in Switzerland with only 55 minutes to spare, or no time to spare, but it's a good thing I planned ahead, because before my trip, I bought 2 Toblerone candy bars at the Walgreens. And it's a good thing I did, because that was the only way I had Swiss chocolate in Switzerland. I was did not have time to stop for a second to try to get anything from a souvenir stand. Also, there really wasn't any souvenir stands to speak of. There was like 2 There was a duty-free shop, but it wasn't open yet. And then there was another stand that probably had candy bar, but I didn't have time to stop at it. That being said, I did manage to get some Swiss chocolate from Switzerland. Just before our plane landed here in Amsterdam, Swiss Air, the flight attendant gave me this. I know, because of the camera I'm using, it appears backwards, but I got this from the flight attendant. Swiss chocolate. Oh, here's another thought. We don't share a lot of the same brand names. Amsterdam in the United States. I mean, they have a McDonald's. I saw a Kentucky Fried Chicken. So there's a couple of places. But as far as brands, I walked into a couple of stores and I didn't recognize almost anything on the shelf. You know, like Doritos, Snickers bar. I didn't recognize anything on the shelf. The problem with that is because I can't read Dutch and I don't recognize the brands, I honestly have no idea what the stuff is. I don't. I mean, there's bags and packages and so on and so forth. I don't know what the stuff is, so I can't buy any of it to bring home for a souvenir. One thing I did find, though, in Dutch. So I got that for a souvenir. Okay, done for now. That was my hotel. I'll be checking out in a few minutes, but that is the hotel's restaurant where I had dinner last night, right there. Yeah, I know the hotel was a little weird, but I'm actually glad I stayed there. I mean, it was clean and safe, which is all I could ask for, was clean and safe. But it's part of the culture. I could have stayed at a big hotel chain, but I mean, everything here is architecture. Everything here is historical and old. Everything. And when you're talking about, you know, turning a 200-300-year-old building into a hotel, I mean, that's what you get. You squeeze rooms in where you can. But it wasn't just a hotel. It's more like a bed and breakfast or a hostel. You know, a lot of young people travel across Europe. And, you know, they might have rich parents or whatnot, but to allow them to fly over here to begin with. But, you know, you've heard a lot of young people backpacking across Europe, and that's how they do it. Over here in Europe, they have hostels everywhere, which is basically like little bunkhouses. You know, you might share a room with 7 or 8 strangers that are also backpacking across Europe. So, you know, it's common for a lot of people over here. It's not common for me. It's probably not common for most of the people I know, but it is common. So, you know, it's a whole different culture. And I've never been one that's afraid of learning other people's culture. It might not be the culture for me, but it's still fun to learn the cultures. I mean, where else in the world would you see something like this? Oh, and that's what I meant about the bicycles. Every once in a while, they'll ring a bell to tell you they're coming up behind you. Every once in a while. At night, well, most of the day, and late into the night, about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, this place is packed full of people. It's actually kind of nice to take this little stroll. There's nobody out here. But I was up at 3:30 and 3:30 this morning, and I came out here to go for a little walk at 4 o'clock in the morning. There were still people out here. Not very many, and some of them were still coming off from getting high off of cannabis or absinthe, or they just got drunk at the bar. But there were still people out here. Now the weird thing is, I am not from here, and most of the people here are not from here. Yeah, this is an actual street that cars drive down. All of these are. Anyway, most of the people aren't from here, so I don't know who's local and who's not. Unless they're actually walking in a store, or working in a store. I don't know if they're local or not. But everybody here has been more than friendly and more than generous. You know, if I needed directions from anybody, see, that was one of my biggest concerns, was I didn't want to stray too far from my hotel for fear of getting lost and not finding my way back. But the nice thing is, my hotel's right across from the train station, the huge train station. So at any time, all I have to do is duck into any one of these stores, and ask, hey, which direction is the train station? And they'll point me back to the train station, and I can find my hotel from there. So I haven't had any trouble at all with getting lost. That and the fact that it is so fucking cold, that I don't want to stray too far anyway. But have you seen what I meant about the bicycles yet? There are more bicycles in this city alone than cars in all of the United States. Yesterday during the boat tour, I saw a parking ramp for bicycles. I mean, like a major hospital size parking ramp, 3 levels, that probably contained 1 million bicycles. And I mean, that was just a parking ramp. There are bicycles everywhere. Now, the other weird thing about the bicycles is, almost all of them are very old, rusty pieces of shit. And from what I understand, there's a reason for that. See, most of these bicycles aren't chained up. I mean, some are, but most of them aren't. And people frequently come outside and find that their bicycle is gone. And what do? There's a houseboat, and another houseboat, and another houseboat. People live in those. What do you do when your bicycle's gone? You take somebody else's. Hence the reason why they're all old, rusty pieces of shit. No point buying a good bicycle when it's probably going to be gone when you come out. There's one of the coffee shops I was telling you about. Where you don't go there to drink coffee. What do you suppose you do in a coffee shop here? There's a lot of coffee shops. None of them are for coffee drinking. This is an Oriental grocery store window. It's not open, but I just thought I'd show you. See, again, this road is 6 feet wide, maybe 8 feet wide. This one is. There are some that are 6 feet. This one's maybe 8 feet. And and usually, well, when I was through here last night, this place was packed full of people. Every road I've showed you so far, this whole thing is packed full of people. And those scooters, they don't slow down at all. Now, the other thing is, I'm a little surprised to see all this garbage because the street sweepers come through here all day long. And they're tiny little 6 foot wide street sweepers. They're tiny little 6 foot wide street sweepers, and they're all day long, they're through here over and over again, just keeping this place clean. I can tell by all the Chinese, I don't think I ever came down this street last night. This is all Chinese, Asian, Vietnamese. I never saw this street last night. It's actually kind of neat if you ask me. See that guy I just walked past, I just asked him if the only thing that keeps my bearing in here, because the roads all curve around in like a horseshoe shape. So the only thing that keeps my bearing, knowing where I am, is knowing where the train station was. So I just asked that guy if the train station was still behind me, and he said yeah. Alright. Now that road I know I've been down last night. So I got pictures of this building and that graffitied trailer right there. I'm trying to find, and it's not easy, but I'm trying to find the red light district again, because yesterday I got pictures of it in daytime, and then I went back at night and took pictures of it again. But I'm just curious what it looks like right now. I also saw something that stood out like a sore thumb. This room right here, there's cars in there, and one of those cars is a Lamborghini, which seems very out of place here. Yeah, this is part of the red light district. Last night, these little shops here, they're not really shops. They're full of little tiny rooms. I'll show you one. Those curtains, they close when they're occupied, but when they're not occupied, the girls stand in these windows. See, hence the no pictures. The girls stand in these windows advertising at night, and you rent these little rooms, or not you, the prostitutes. See, here's a couple more. Notice the plastic beds. the prostitutes rent these little rooms like a beautician rents her booth, or a barber might rent his chair. They rent these little rooms, and they stand in these windows advertising. Sorry, I had to change phones. That battery died. Well, see, I was wondering this last night because everybody piles their trash outside in these alleys, and I was wondering how the hell do they get the garbage out of these alleys? Well, now we know how they get the garbage out of these alleys. Fuck that. I don't want that job. Fuck that. Anyway, oh look. As I was saying, they advertise in the windows, and they don't do it in a shitty way. I mean, they're not like carnies trying to draw you into playing their games. Hold on. Anyway, they don't advertise like carnies trying to pull you into playing their games when you don't want to. They just stand in the window. You look over at them, they'll smile. They might blow you a kiss, but you know they're being nice. They're not trying to, talk you into it. But so you go in there. I don't know how it actually works from there, but I know you go in there, and they draw the curtain. You do what you're there to do, and you leave, and they open up the curtain and go back to advertising. Okay, that guy. See, here's some more advertising rooms. And some hungry seagulls. And a pigeon. There was a guy back there sitting on the stoop I thought was going to cause trouble maybe, but I think he is way too drunk or high to cause any trouble for me. There's also one back there on the cell phone. You might have saw him by a minute ago. Who's also very animated and vocal. But that's the remain. This is the red light district. After the red light district goes to bed, anyway. Fuck! The garbage man's coming. Oh, we'll take a different route. And the red light district does extend into the side alleys. Garbage man's behind me now. See, that's why I turn around. Anyway, this is all part of the red light district. There's probably 4. Good morning. Morning. That was all part of there's like 3 or 4 little side alleys like that. But as soon as you come out to here, all gone. No more red light district. I don't know who has more canals, Venice or Amsterdam. Anyway, I'm going to start working my way back toward the hotel so I can have breakfast. I am going to call Uber while I'm having breakfast, and I'm going to call Uber while I'm having breakfast, and then the airport from there. I already checked in and got my boarding pass. So all I have to do is go through security, because after breakfast I'm only going to have 3 hours to get to the airport and get on the plane. But before I leave, I've been wanting to do my batteries on both of my phones have been dead most of the time I was here, so I'd charge it for 15 minutes or an hour and then use it again, charge it for an hour and use it again. So they've been dead almost this whole time. That's why I just had to switch phones to do this. But it seemed like a perfect time of day with no crowds to give you guys a tour. I mean, we haven't even seen just a little piece of City Central. Not even a piece. But this is mostly the area that I stuck around in last night taking pictures, because I didn't want to get too far away and either not be able to get back or not be able to get back in time. And it is bitter cold here. It's 30 degrees. Well, right now it's 28 degrees Fahrenheit. See, there's a museum, but I don't know what museum. I don't think I saw this. Yeah, I wasn't here last night. I mean, I saw it from a distance, but I never... Damn, I wish I would have when I had my camera. Anyway, it's 28 degrees right now, but with the wind, it feels like 0. So, I didn't want to get too far away. I hope you enjoyed the little tour. Like I said, there is a lot more Amsterdam to see than what I've shown you so far, but it's a little taste. Still walking around trying to smoke as much as I can before I get on the plane, because it's once I get to the airport, no more smokes until I get home or to Canada. So yesterday sucked, or was it yesterday or yesterday and a half? Anyway, yesterday and a half. So, see, here's some more red light district. I was mistaken. Anyway, yesterday and a half sucked because I got to I went through security at Toronto Airport way too early. I was not able to. There's that loud dude on the cell phone again. Anyway, I was not able to smoke once I went through airport security all the way until I got here, which was about 14 hours. I was ready to smoke somebody's hair on the airplane. Oh, that's sexy. Where the fuck is that train station? Can you tell me it's a train station that way?
Central Station?
Yes. Okay, thank you. No, you gave me the...
You will see it.
Yep, thank you. There. Now you see how I get around this place. Oh yeah, there it is. See? That's what I said. I knew it was right there. That is the train station. My hotel is right around that corner to the right. And one of those down at the end is the boat tour I took. Good thing I didn't take that one. You'd have seen bird shit all over it. Up here on the left is that McDonald's I went to. That had the tiny little coffee. I can't wait to get back to Canada and get a Timmy's. I should have ate there last night, but I didn't see it till after I ate. Now, come afternoon, I think after 12 o'clock, you won't see any of those trucks anymore. Oh, there's the sex museum. I saw it on Google, but I walked past the damn place probably 10 times and didn't see it. I didn't look up. We're almost back to the hotel. Don't worry. Yeah, there's this road here. Ever since I got here, this road was, 50,000 people on this road. I might be exaggerating. I don't know. I can't count people. But the road is just all people. Only thing coming up and down this road when it's booming is taxi cabs. And Uber drivers. I was going to take the train this morning. I was going to leave 2 hours ago and try to take the train. That was the original plan. But I wanted some of that breakfast. So, that was the whole point of me booking that hotel, was the breakfast. So I'm going to take an Uber cab. I haven't gone anywhere on that side of the road. I haven't crossed that road. I figured if there's ever a next time, maybe I will. So I only had so much time, and the red light district is on this side. Right down that alley is the red light district, and right around the other side of this building is my hotel. And I had to get pictures of the red light district because it's so famous. So there's that. That's the lady I just got directions from. Clearly we took two different ways to get to the same place, which is funny because she gave me directions. Why couldn't she just say, hey, come with me? Am I that fucking creepy looking? Anyway, that concludes my little tour of That concludes my little tour of my little piece of Amsterdam that I visited last night. I mean, like I said, I went to more places, but I walked around a little bit more than I did this morning, but that's the tour. This is right outside my hotel. I don't know Roman numerals. What's the Roman numeral NNXV? I believe it might be the date that this place was built. There's another thing I want to check out over here before I go, because back there right in front of the motel, I learned last night that there is an automobile elevator right in front of my motel, and I did not know that until I was eating dinner and watched it swallow a car. And I believe this might be the access to that underground parking facility. So I'm curious what it looks like down here. Oh, these stairs look fucking treacherous. That'll get a motherfucker killed. Oh, I almost stepped on that. I guess I could have taken the smart side. Oh, nope. Nope, this is a subway. I had no idea this was here. Ain't that some shit? Also, I'm smoking down here, and I'm probably not supposed to do that, but I don't think you guys will tell on me. It says Metro, so I'd imagine that's the... Yeah, figure out where the hell you're going. I can't pronounce any of that shit. Oh, and there's even more downstairs. I'm not paying money to go down there, though. And we are below the water level. I was told yesterday that if you go down at all, you are below the water level. So that underground, that tram or train or subway or whatever it is below sea level. So there, before breakfast I got to do a little more exploring. It's some shit I haven't seen yet. And we got rat traps right here in the middle of, right by all the trash cans. I never noticed that either. Now, luckily, it's early in the morning, because you could not cross this street right here last night. Oh, I also saw last night Mercedes-Benz and Lexus taxi cabs. I'm thinking Mercedes-Benz isn't quite the car. It's not. In the United States, Mercedes-Benz is a luxury vehicle only the rich people have. Over here, not so much. I want you to notice something. See those buildings leaning? Pisa ain't got shit on this place. A lot of places here, I guess, after they built it, started leaning severely. Some of them were able to be straightened up, but not all of them. Clearly, not all of them. But I never noticed that last night. That building was leaning. All right, now for real, it ends my little tour.